4. Good afternoon, I'm Steve Hensley. First at 4, a family of 5 was rushed to the hospital this morning after a reaction with pool chemicals. Emergency officials say the chemicals were mixed inside the home and 2 people had to be rescued. WYMT's Phil Pendleton is in Berea with more on what happened.
A large emergency response inside this home behind me after the people inside said that they thought they experienced some kind of an explosion, and all of it took place while pool chemicals were reportedly being mixed. No explosion, but officials say that it was a chemical reaction caused by the mixing of those swimming pool chemicals such as chlorine and shock. There was a family of 5, a husband and a wife and 3 kids inside, and all were taken to the hospital.
Mixing them is not necessarily the thing you have to be worried about. It's using the proper amounts, using the manufactured instructions telling you how to use those chemicals, but then doing them in a well-ventilated area, typically outside, is much better than doing them inside your home.
We do not know the condition of the 5, but we are told that 2 of the people had to be rescued from inside the home. Emergency officials stayed on the scene for quite some time, making sure that the air quality inside the home was once again safe. In Madison County, Phil Pendleton, now back to you.
Emergency officials said none of the surrounding homes were ever in any danger and there were no evacuations.
Just like what we've been talking about for the past few days, it's another gorgeous afternoon here in the mountains. Plenty of sunshine and warmer temperatures as well. I-64 at Moorhead, you see, again, nothing but blue sky. Now, we do have some changes in parts of the area compared to this particular shot, but downtown Whitesburg, not one of them. Everything moving smoothly this afternoon, sitting at 83. Look at that dew point at 44. Yeah, that means we are not dealing with anything close to a humid air mass around the region, which is good news because some of these temperatures are rather on the toasty side. How about 85 in London, 86 Hazard and Manchester, Jonesville, Irvin, and Moorhead, and right now taking the cake, 88 degrees in Williamson, West Virginia. It is warm out there this afternoon. Pinpoint Doppler, again, a clean sweep, so not much in the way of anything that would be, I don't know, a cooling shower. You do see some scattered clouds there between I-65 and I-75, but those are going to continue to move off to the west as we head into the nighttime hours. So more clear skies overhead. That should help us cool down a little bit as we head into tonight, but a warm day turns into a warm evening around the mountains. Eventually, though, we'll be down into the 50s as we head into tonight. Now, I've got the latest on when a few changes could return to the forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
All right, Evan, thank you. The University of Pikeville has announced plans for a new dental school after a $25 million gift. On Saturday, UPike announced the $25 million donation, which had come from an anonymous donor. Officials say the large donation will be put to good use and will fund a dental program in Appalachia. This is only Kentucky's 3rd dental program, and UPike President Dr. Burton Webb says he, the entire school, as well as the anonymous donor, are passionate about providing quality health care in Central Appalachia.
It's an Appalachian institution looking at an issue that we have here and trying to solve it by providing high quality health care in all of the different facets of what health care looks like. So we're passionate about that. We think that's important, and we think a dental school in Appalachia is the right thing to do.
UPike Provost Dr. Lori Worth also said families and prospective students have already begun calling with questions about the new program, but the school is not set to open for at least another 2 to 3 years. We'll have more with UPike officials about the announcement coming up tonight at 6. Early voting starts tomorrow in Kentucky. You don't have to have an excuse to vote in person Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. The primary, of course, is next Tuesday, May 17th. You can check out a sample ballot ahead of time and at govoteky.com. Again, on the web, that's govoteky.com. Just search for your county in the election section and you should be able to find a sample ballot for your county. Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron is officially running for governor. Cameron, a Republican, filed his paperwork this morning. He joins Agriculture Commissioner Ryan Quarles and State Auditor Mike Harmon on the Republican side. And with his announcement, Secretary of State Michael Adams says he will consider running for Attorney General, but also won't rule out running for re-election. Of course, the governor's race is next year. A bipartisan group of senators is expected to block the advancement of the Women's Health Protection Act, a Democratic bill that would make the landmark Roe v. Wade decision federal law. Republicans, including some moderates who support abortion rights, say the legislation goes too far. Congressional Democrats are seizing the issue in hopes it will mobilize voters to the streets and the polls this November. CBS's Natalie Brand has more from Capitol Hill.
Ahead of Wednesday's procedural vote on an abortion rights bill, Democrats acknowledged it would fail in the evenly divided Senate.
This vote requires 60, and we don't have 10 Republicans.
It is not Roe v. Wade codification. It's an expansion.
West Virginia Democrat Joe Manchin opposes his party's bill. Instead, he signaled support for a more narrow measure, like the one from GOP moderates Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski.
I'm supporting the codification of Roe.
Democratic leaders forged ahead with their bill, they say, to get all 100 U.S. senators' votes on the record.
Protecting the right to choose at this critical moment is one of the most consequential votes we could possibly take, and the American people are watching.
The legislation before us today would make our laws even more extreme. Majority Leader Schumer will earn kudos from Planned Parenthood for this show vote today, but he's not going to convince anyone.
The push to make Roe v. Wade into federal law has intensified in the days since Politico published Justice Alito's bombshell draft opinion from February, which signaled the conservative majority court could overturn the landmark decision.
New CBS News polling shows the fate of Roe v. Wade has yet to motivate most voters heading into this year's midterm elections.
We're a party who defends life.
Today is the start of the galvanization of all women in this country.
The debate over abortion rights has sparked demonstrations nationwide, leading up to a day of rallies planned for this Saturday. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
More than 20 states, mostly Republican-led, are expected to move ahead laws to restrict access to abortion if Roe v. Wade is overturned. Today, Maine GOP Senator Susan Collins released a statement saying she will continue working with colleagues on legislation to maintain the current legal framework for abortion rights in the U.S. Lawmakers on the House Select Committee investigating the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol are still working out what their hearings are going to look like. Everything from the topics to the witness list. It will begin with an overview of the panel's 10-month investigation. At this point, sources say there's been talk about outlining what President Donald Trump was doing as the riot started, his claims about election fraud, and a review of how the uprising was organized and financed. The first hearing is set for June 9th. Let's head over to Wall Street now on this Wednesday. The Dow closes down today more than 327 points. We'll have more financial news in our next half hour. But straight ahead here on First at 4, police officers from across the country gathered to remember fallen police canines who gave their lives in the line of duty.
And sunshine looks to continue yet again into tomorrow, but there are a few changes on the way. The latest on that coming up next.
I'm Steve Little, candidate for Floyd County Jailer. I've dedicated over 25 years of my life to public service. Now I'm ready to put